Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a secret that the greatest competitors in the world know, even if we don't often believe it. The biggest competition you will ever face is not outside, it is inside. It's not you versus the world, it's you versus you. We often wake up every morning imagining the obstacles ahead of us are out there. Deadlines to meet, rivals in the marketplace, the economy, or even the global pandemic. But I'm here to say, the real battle is against the voice inside your head, that tiny doubt, that little fear, those old habits and self-judgments. When you wake up tomorrow, the only person you really need to be better than is the person you see in the mirror. As Confucius taught centuries ago, he who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. That's the essence of our challenge. The one we must beat isn't in the stands or on the boardroom table. It's inside us, often dressed up as procrastination or negative self-talk. When we win in life, it's because we finally beat the old version of ourselves that said we couldn't. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, said it clearly: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Notice, he didn't promise we have power over the traffic jam or the job market, but power over our mind. If we harness that, strength and change follow, no matter what obstacles we face outside. And consider Emerson's words, written for you and me: the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Every day, life hands us a deck of cards. How we play them is our choice. We can let the hand be dictated by past habits or fears, or we can shuffle, deal anew, and play a better game. But the outcome depends on us, not on the hand we're given. Think about that for a moment. If you truly believe that, then your only limits are the ones you place on yourself. In fact, a recent survey found that 35% of Americans regret not pursuing their dreams. 1 in 3 people look back and wish they had taken action instead of listening to doubt. Let that sink in. 35 out of 100. What's stopping you today? Imagine someone who has always wanted to write a novel, but year after year her inner critic whispers, "It's useless. You'll never be published. Why even try?" By the time she realizes a decade has passed, her biggest regret is the book that was never written. That's a tragedy not of talent, but of timidity. It could have been page by page, word by word, but fear locked those pages shut. Yet discipline can break those locks. Jim Rohn, the motivational speaker, put it simply: discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. That means the only way to turn a dream into reality is to show up day after day, pushing that voice of doubt aside. Discipline whispers to that scared part of you, just do it for 5 minutes, then do it again tomorrow. Over time, those small daily choices outmatch the loudest fears. I remember when I first tried to give a talk like this. I was shaking with fear backstage. My mind screamed, "What if they laugh at you?" But I had practiced my lines in front of the mirror, disciplined myself to do it. As I walked on stage, I took a deep breath and told that voice, "This time, I decide the outcome." I conquered myself, just like Confucius said, and moments later I was delivering this very message. You have stories like that too, even if you haven't told them out loud. Maybe you faced fear of heights and climbed that rock wall. Maybe you broke free from a bad habit you thought you could never shake. Each time you confronted yourself and won. Not someone else. You took a step forward. You proved to yourself what you are capable of. Consider this truth. Real champions know their fiercest opponent wears their own face. In sports, a great coach once said, "The other team is just a distraction. If my guys lose, it's because they lost to themselves." If a boxer has the skill and training but is knocked out by doubt on the ropes, did the rival win? No, he lost to his own fear. We've all been that boxer, worrying about missing a punch instead of delivering one. Winston Churchill, facing the darkest days of war, understood this mindset. He famously said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." He wasn't just talking about bombings or battles, he was talking about resolve. After every setback, Churchill picked himself up and marched on, because he knew falling was not defeat, but staying down would be. We can borrow that bravery in our own lives. Any setback, failing an exam, not getting a job, losing a game, none of those are final unless we stop fighting within ourselves. And as Nelson Mandela, who endured decades in prison, said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." If you let the word impossible dwell in your mind, you'll never start. But when you begin, something changes. Each effort chips away at impossibility. Every step you take, however small, is proof that maybe, just maybe, you can do it. Embrace the doing. Thomas Edison found success only after countless failures. He quipped, "Genius is not inspired, inspiration is perspiration." In other words, the difference between a dreamer and a doer is work. Edison tested thousands of filaments before the light bulb shone. He didn't make up excuses, he kept working. And because he didn't stop, his name became synonymous with persistence. You have an Edison spark inside you. Every time you try and learn, you're shining a light. Every decision to push forward is like electricity flowing through your path. Did something not work? Great. That filament didn't burn out in vain. You're learning exactly which ones do. It truly doesn't matter how slowly you go, so long as you don't stop. The famous words go, "It does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop." Each small move is forward motion in this race. If you walk 1 mile today and 1 mile tomorrow, you're miles beyond where you were when you stayed in bed. Remember that whoever you were yesterday is your only competition. Beat them, one step at a time. This is what personal responsibility means. Nobody else can make you train. Nobody else will write that book for you. You have to make those choices. You have to conquer that inner voice. As Emerson said, you become who you decide to be. That's a powerful thought. If we truly embraced it, we'd treat each day like a decision to be better, not waiting for life to hand us change, but making it happen ourselves. Let me tell you about one more transformation, a story that shows how all this comes together. A young woman named Maya always dreamed of being a dancer. She had talent, but every time she performed, her heart raced with fear. Her mind whispered, "They'll see you're not good enough." After a failed audition in high school, she almost quit. But one day she decided she was tired of losing to her own fear. She signed up for extra practice and worked on her craft every day. At first, progress was tiny. One graceful turn here, a confident step there, but she persisted. Months later, Maya auditioned again and made the company. She later said that her true victory wasn't on stage, but in deciding to try again. When she danced that night, the audience saw grace and skill, but what she felt was liberation. The chains of self-doubt were broken. Maya had won the battle against herself, and suddenly the whole stage was open to her. Do you see the pattern? The magic doesn't come from some external fairy godmother. It comes from us handing ourselves the right to try. It comes when we refuse to fight yesterday's demons any longer and start fighting for tomorrow's dreams. Now, consider your own life for a moment. What have you been holding back on trying? What is that one dream you've been babying in your heart, afraid to actually chase? Think about how many times you might have said, "I'll do it when I feel ready," or "I can't because someone might say I'm not good." These are choices we make. We either choose courage or we choose comfort. It's always one or the other. I'll borrow one final thought from Steve Jobs' wisdom. He reminded graduates that when faced with mortality, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away, leaving only what is truly important. That's dramatic, but think about it. What's left if you strip away everything you're worried others will think, everything you fear to lose? Only your passion and your purpose remain. Those are the engines that drive you forward. So take that passion and let it burn away hesitation. The person you become depends on how you fight your internal battle from this moment forward. This is your call to action. Not next week, not tomorrow when you feel ready, right now. Because every moment you wait is another round in the fight you are meant to win. You versus you, remember? In the next 24 hours, commit to one thing. Wake up a bit earlier and write that first page. Make that phone call you've delayed. Say yes to the next opportunity, even if you feel underprepared. Each time you do that, your inner champion grows stronger. Each time you silence that old voice, you weaken it forever. At the end of our lives, our biggest regret won't be failing. It will be the chances we never took. So let this moment count. Right now, in this very second, decide to take your internal battle seriously. Flip the narrative in your head from "I don't think I can" to "I will do this." You have the power to change. Discipline is your ally, keeping you on track each day. Courage is your companion when you slip. Remember Churchill's words. One small act of bravery can turn failure into triumph. Will is the flame that burns inside you, just like Gandhi said. That indomitable will is your strength. All these are within you right now. Think about a moment when you gave good advice to a friend. You probably told them, "Go for it, believe in yourself," or "just start." Guess what? You deserve that same advice. You are, and always will be, your own most important friend. Treat yourself with the encouragement and kindness you would offer others. Maybe try this. Write down one limiting belief you have, and then cross it out and replace it with a positive statement. For example, "I am not smart enough" becomes "I will learn and improve." Stick that note on your mirror. Each time the negative voice creeps in, read the positive affirmation. Over time, you'll rewire that inner dialogue. Life is like climbing a mountain in the dark. You can't see the peak, but you know it's out there. Each step you take, each goal you chase, lights up a bit of the path. If you stand still because you can't see far enough, you'll never reach the top. But one careful step at a time, and soon enough, you emerge into the light. I once read a quote by the Buddha that resonates deeply. Your worst enemy cannot hurt you as much as your own thoughts when you haven't mastered them. Think about that. How many times have you talked yourself out of something because of fear? That shows how powerful we are, powerful enough that our own mind can trip us up. But remember that power can be used to help us if we learn to master our thoughts. You see, by taking action, by treating failures as lessons, you master your mind. Keep a win journal. Each day write down one thing you did that made you proud, however small. Sending that email, finishing a task, making that healthy choice. Over time, that list becomes proof that you can achieve what you set your mind to. Each check mark in the win column is a victory over the old you. And start small. Psychologists say habits form slowly. Commit to one tiny step, even a single push-up tomorrow morning or 1 minute of work on a goal today. Taking that step, no matter how small, beats inaction. Each step builds momentum, and before you know it, the "I can't" voice fades, and you find yourself moving forward almost effortlessly. Imagine you climb onto a podium and look back at today. What will your future self say? "I wish I had tried," or "I'm so glad I did." The younger you might find it hard to believe, but even the toughest critics in the world had to start somewhere. Every great story you've heard started with someone who decided to try, one moment at a time. It could be you. So, as you leave here today, remember, every moment is an opportunity to turn the tide in your favor. If a voice tells you to wait or to stop, greet it and then move anyway. Every step you take in victory over yourself shapes the life you dream of. Believe in yourself. Each of us has that fire inside. Now go stoke it. The arena is set, the bell is rung, and it's you versus you, and you are ready to win. Thank you.